Hey, what? It's Tuesday. It's 11:12 or so. Hi. How you doing? I am doing well, thank you. I'm here to check in with my body as usual. Still got the house to myself. Me and the clutter are having some rounds. Got some digital artwork prints up. I'm going to be offering those soon. I'm getting excited about that. But in the meantime, that is a good time to straighten out the glasses. Whew, that made me queasy. Let's do a little stretching, shall we? As usual, I'm here just to check in with my own body. Be a little silly and sing my life a little bit. And I invite you to join me to whatever degree you feel like it. Do a little visual check in the faraway box there. All right. Let's do a little wacky, wavy, inflatable arm two-person impression. Take a deep breath. And I'm going to take a breath or two longer and just root myself into the center of the earth. Bringing my attention into the bottoms of my feet and relaxing my feet. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the knees. And then I'm going to take a slow roll down. I'm going to turn this way just for good measure. Again, rooting myself into the center of the earth. And then just checking in with the spine. It's a good time to remind you don't need any special outfit, any special boots, or stretchy shirt. Well, sometimes that does help. To check in with your body, give yourself a little love. I'm coming down past the waist to the hips, and I'm just going to hang here, let gravity do some unwinding. Bending the knees and straighten them a little bit, just hanging out, letting the upper body hang off the lower body from this hip region here. Bending the knees, put the hands on the floor maybe, if that feels good. Just giving that another breath or so. To unwind, relaxing the belly, relaxing the back. And I'm going to roll back up, pushing from the bottoms of the feet again, bringing my attention to the center of the earth, center of my feet, and then pushing from the bottoms of the feet, tipping the tailbone first, making sure not to lock those knees, and rolling up nice and slow, just letting the arms and head hang as I come up the spine, checking in with the body, up to the top. Let's lift the arms, lift the eyes, come into a bit of a counter stretch, pushing the hips forward. Just gently there, checking in with everybody. Let's come back to center. I'm going to do another forward fold, this time with a relatively straight back. Again, making sure not to lock the knees. This time swan diving down, as I like to think of it. Resisting the temptation to lock those knees. In fact, bending the knees a little bit to again put the hands on the floor. And then again, just giving a few breaths here to relax into that forward fold. Letting gravity do some unwinding, letting go of the neck. I'm going to bend the knees even more and swing the arms back. Come into a deeper counter stretch, lifting the eyes and arms and head and chest and pushing the hips and belly forward. Still try not to lock those knees. I got a lot of hitches in that giddy up today. Just noticing. Come back to center. Shake that out a little bit. Let's give that a little bit of Free arm is swinging. I'm going to do a little bit of lunging. It's been a while. Trying to get back some strength that I've been losing quickly. I'm going to step back with the left foot first. That's just to help me keep track of it. Pushing into that back heel and pulling that back hip forward, forward hip back. Looking for a relatively perpendicular line with the hips, relatively parallel lines with the feet, although you can adjust that back foot accordingly, of course. Checking that the front knee isn't crunching past the front toes. Just settling into a nice, strong stance there. Try not to fall over. As I say that, I'm going to inch that back heel out a little bit more, still pushing into that back heel. And I'm going to bring the arms up, come onto the diagonal line, pushing out that heel, through the leg, through the spine, out the fingertips, coming into a bit of a deeper lunge. Still trying to keep that back heel, pressing toward the floor, enjoying that diagonal line through the body. And then continuing to slide that back foot out, coming onto the back toe, bringing both hands on either side of that front foot for a nice deep lunge. And then I'm going to straighten this front leg, still keeping these hips perpendicular as possible, pulling that front hip back hip forward, straightening that front leg a little bit and pushing back into that back heel, using my hands for support. Just enjoying that stretch into the front leg. I'm going to bring weight onto my hands and bring that front leg back to meet the back foot. Pressing through the palms, through the spine, pressing the heart toward the earth. Tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head. Pressing into the heels. I'm going to chaturanga forward. Pulling the body up and forward, dropping the lower body, dropping the hips, dropping the belly, lifting the eyes, try not to sink in the shoulders. Just relaxing the belly, keeping those legs together. Add some funny noises and tongue stretches there if you feel like it. It's a good spot for it. I like to look over each shoulder, give an extra little stretch to the front, looking over the left, stretching on the right, and looking over the right, stretching on the left, and coming back to center, lifting those hips, pushing back through the palms, through the spine, pressing into those heels, and then I'm going to swing that left foot forward in between the hands. A nice deep lunge on that other side. I like to bounce in the deep lunge. Some people say don't bounce. I say bounce if you want to bounce. Don't bounce if you don't like bouncing. Of course, I'm not sponsored by anybody but me, so I get to say whatever I want. See how that works. I'm going to step forward with that back foot back into a nice forward fold. Let those glasses go. Let's give the head a little check-in. Maybe rub that scalp a little bit. That feels good. Just relaxing here and forward fold again. And then I'm going to tip the pelvis and again roll up, pushing from the bottoms of the feet. Checking in with the spine. Do that free arm twist again, a little bit of loosening up. Let's do the other side of that loose improv sun salutation of sorts. Stepping back with the right foot, pressing into that back heel, pulling the hips onto the perpendicular line, pulling the back hip forward, forward hip back, tipping the tailbone under a little bit, checking that that front knee isn't crunching past the front toes, pushing into the diagonal, start of the diagonal line. I'm still upright in the torso. Looking for relatively parallel lines with the feet, relatively perpendicular line with the hips. Just settling into that stable feeling, and then I'm going to bring the arms up. I'm going to bring the gaze out to the horizon or imagined horizon. Just feel into that. Relaxing the shoulders. And then sliding that back foot out onto that heel as long as possible. And tipping the upper body forward, coming into that diagonal line. Feeling that energy out the heel, through the core of the body and out the fingertips. Just enjoying that diagonal sensation. For a little bit, still pulling those hips onto the perpendicular line. And then slowly continuing to slide that back foot out, coming off the heel onto the toes, and bringing both feet down, both hands, or my upper body feet, on either side of my lower body foot. Just enjoying that deep lunge for a breath or so. Shifting onto that back toe, keeping that back knee facing the ground. Still nice and stable. And then I'm going to push onto that back heel again as I straighten this front foot, using my hands for stability. Folding the upper body over the lower body, aiming my chin for my toes for a nice forward fold. Just relaxing into that for a breath or so, and then bringing my weight onto my hands and bringing that foot back to meet the back foot. And again, pressing through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, pressing into the heels. Let's tread those a little bit, bending the right knee, pressing into the left heel, and bending the left knee, pressing into the right. Alternating that a couple more times, pressing into the left, and pressing into the right, and again into the left, and into the right, pressing through the palms into both heels, tipping the tailbone to the back of the head, getting a nice stretch through the front of the body and the back of the body, upper and lower body. And then I'm going to slide these hands out just a little bit and swing the upper body forward, bringing the chest up, through the shoulders, dropping the shoulders, keeping the legs together, dropping the belly, lifting the eyes. Getting a nice stretch, try not to sink in those shoulders. And then lifting the hips, pressing again through the palms, tipping the tailbone to the back of the head. Pressing into those heels. Then I'm going to swing the right foot forward in between the hands. A nice deep lunge on that side. Again, I like to enjoy bouncing in the deep lunge. You listen to your own body, please, first and foremost. I encourage you to explore, be silly, get on the floor more. Or get off the floor if you're spending a lot of time on the floor, but most of the humans I know are not spending very much time on the floor. I say get down on it. I'm going to step forward with the back foot. And hang here again in a forward fold, releasing in the belly, releasing in the low back. Just letting gravity do some unwinding. And then again, I'm going to make sure not to lock the knees. Do a quick shirt adjustment. And then bending the knees, swinging the arms back, and lifting the arms and eyes and chest. Pushing the hips forward. Moving nice and slow, and let that dizziness subside. I'm going to cut that back. That counter stretch a little short because my body's saying, easy there. All right. Been practicing listening to my body. It's an ongoing process because it keeps changing. I hope you're practicing, listening to your body, keeping up with keeping your relationships healthy, first and foremost, with yourself. And also, get down on the ground more. I encourage you to try squatting. That's good. 2. Yep. In fact, that feels pretty good. I like to press on with my elbow on my knee. Get a nice stretch. Pressing into the heels. Stretch through the spine. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a little bit more love. Thanks for being you, and thanks for letting me be me. I'll be seeing you. Peace.